Alrighty, so for today's video, we're actually going to start on slide 30. So make sure you're on slide 30 of your note packet. I want to start here because what we're going to do is we're going to do numbers 2 and 4 on this warm-up piece here. I want to practice these before we do the more difficult inequality questions. So with these, when we're solving these equations, what we need to do first when we have parentheses is we need to use the distributive property in order to get rid of those parentheses. What this is going to look like is I'm going to take the number in front of the parentheses and multiply it into both parts. So what I end up getting is 7 times 2, which is 14, and then 7 times k, which is a 7k. These two are going to combine together to go on that side of the equation, and then we can go ahead and solve using our solving skills. So in this case here, these look like problems we've been practicing, so I'm going to keep the 7 with the k because they're buddied up right now. The 14 is positive, so I'm going to subtract the 14 from both sides. These are going to cancel. My 7k will come down, equal sign in the middle, and then 28 minus 14 is 14. Now remember here, what we have is we have 7 times k equals 14. So in order to get rid of that, we need to divide both sides by 7. That will get me k equals 2. So the new piece for today is being able to use the distributive property. We'll also see some more challenging problems where I have a variable on both sides, and we'll practice that also, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and slide down to slide 31, and we're going to do number 4 as well. Number 4 is a little more challenging, okay? So on number 4, we'll take the 3 that's outside and multiply it in. I'm just going to do this scratch work over here so I can save some space. So we've got 3 times r.
Cameron wasn't here, or not Cameron, Quincy wasn't here when y'all did graphic inequalities and shading the regions.
I'll deal with it.
All right.
But okay, thank you.
Yep.
So 3 times r is 3r. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so that's what's going to go in for that first piece, 3r plus 12. The second thing we need to do is we need to take the -5 and multiply it into both parts here. So we'll have -5 times r is -5r. And then we'll have -5 times -1, which is 5. And these two are going to go together next to the 3r and the 12. So minus 5r plus 5 equals 5. Now on this one, we've kind of got a lot going on the left-hand side. So what we can do is we can put our terms that are the same together. So what I mean by that is I can take 3r and a -5r and put those together. What that's going to look like is I'm just going to take 3 minus 5, which is going to get me -2, and that's going to be my new r term. And then I also have a number 12 and a number 5 that's going to go together. So I can take 12 plus 5, and that's going to get me 17. Those are going to be my new terms that will go on this left-hand side, so -2r plus 17 equals 5. And then now again, we're going to solve for r. So we'll keep the -2 with the r first. We're going to move the 17, since it's a positive, we're going to subtract that from both sides. The -2r is going to come down, equal sign in the middle, and then 5 minus 17 is -12. Whenever I have a number and a variable next to each other, we're always going to use division. So now I'm going to divide both sides by -2. And r is 6 in this case. So those are two concepts we're going to be working with today, but with inequalities. Okay, so now we're going to jump ahead. This is the last part of section 6.2 that we're going to be working on. So this will be slides 41 and 42 that we're going to look at here. So we're going to solve our inequality, and then we're going to graph that solution on the number line. Okay, so if I look at my problem here, I've got a number on the left, our inequality, I got another number, and then I've got a set of parentheses. So what we need to do first is deal with these parentheses. So I'm going to take that positive 11 that's in front, and I'm going to distribute it. So I'll have 11 times x, which is 11x. And then we'll have 11 times 8, which is 88. These two are going to combine and go on that right-hand side this time. So I've got 88, our greater than or equal to symbol, negative 33. Sorry about that, negative 33. And then my new stuff, I have a positive 11x and a positive 88. Those are going to go on that side there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my like terms. So on this side, I've got a negative 33 and I've got an 88. Those are going to go together. So I'm just going to do negative 33 plus 88. That gets me 55. So the 88 on this side doesn't change yet. 88 greater than or equal to. Your 11x is going to stay the same. But now we have a positive 55 on the right. Now we need to solve for x because we've got two things on this right-hand side. So we'll keep the 11x together. We're going to need to move the 55 from the right-hand side. So minus 55 on both sides so that this cancels. 88 minus 55 is 33. Bring down our inequality, and then we get 11x. In order to get x by itself, we need to divide both sides by 11. And I get 3 greater than or equal to x. Now in order to graph this correctly, we're going to drop down our x, our inequality symbol, and then our 3. Okay? So when we graph this, 3 will go in the middle. Add 2 gets me 5. Subtract 2 gets me 1. This is going to be a closed circle going to the left. So closed circle to the left. All right, the last problem we're going to look at is on slide 42. This one's a little bit longer as well, but we'll just take it step by step here. So we've got some parentheses, so we need to deal with those first. Okay, so the first one's a 4 on the outside. We're going to multiply that to a 2x, which gets me 8x. And then I've got 4 times negative 11, which is negative 44. So those are going to be my new terms on the left side. 8x minus 44. Inequality symbol. On this side, I've got a positive 2. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that in. So I'll have 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8. Those are going to go on the right side with that negative 12 that's there. So I need to make sure that that comes down as well. I have a positive 2x and a minus 8. On this right side, I've got two numbers that we can put together before we start solving, okay? So I've got a negative 12 minus 8. When we combine those together, we get negative 20. So the 8x minus 44 doesn't change. Our inequality doesn't change. We can drop the 2x down, but then now it's a minus 20 that's going to go with that. Now, our goal is to get numbers and variables on the same side. I always like to move the variable from the right to the left first in order to simplify my problem. So since this is a positive 2x, in order to get rid of it on that side, I need to subtract it from itself to get rid of it, and then I'm going to stack it underneath the 8x. So these are going to cancel. On the left, I've got 8x minus 2x, which is 6x, minus 44, less than or equal to negative 20. And now once you get the variable to the left, the problem looks just like the ones we've been practicing. So take this, keep that there. We need to move the number outside of it. So it's a minus 44, so I'm going to add 44 to both sides. That'll cancel off here. Our 6x will come down. Inequality symbol. Negative 20 plus 44 is going to be 24. And then our last step, we're going to divide both sides by 6. And I get x less than or equal to 4. For graphing, we're going to put 4 in the middle. We'll add 2 to get 6. Subtract 2 to get 2. This is also going to be a closed circle going left. Most of the problems today on your practice at the end of it are going to look like this. So if you need help on your practice on the last couple questions, that's what you're looking for. So now you need to work on your practice. Miss Olga's got them. Please make sure you get that done and are all caught up on your missing work.